Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another video about Ascension. This time, I would like us to dive into what is happening with the physical body during the Ascension process. Ascension from the third dimension to the fourth, and then to the fifth dimension as well. What changes we can expect in our physical bodies and in our abilities. There are so many ascension symptoms that many people are suffering from, including myself. In my video called Shifting to the Fifth Dimension, I talk about these ascension symptoms that can be super uncomfortable for many people. There's a lot happening to our neurological system. There are loads of upgrades in terms of our DNAs, in terms of our senses as well. So basically our body-mind complex is being upgraded to have the sixth sense instead of just having five senses. But if you want to learn more about these ascension symptoms, then check out that video. In this video, mostly I would like to talk about what is happening after we overcome these ascension symptoms, because we are in a transitional period right now. We are only at the beginning phases of the fourth density, meaning that we haven't left fully the third density, but things have gotten accelerated, so it's inevitable for us to transition into the fourth density fully. In a few years' time, because things are really accelerating and things are happening exponentially, we will see big and radical changes in how our bodies operate, our abilities as well, our communication, and our perception of this world. So there are big changes coming in terms of the whole operation of the world. So those of you that are discouraged from what you are seeing that is playing out right now, the chaos and the conflict as well, I want you to know that these conflicts are only temporary, and those souls that are incarnating on planet Earth currently and in the near future as well are highly intuitive, are very evolved, and they are coming to assist us in our ascension process. This great awakening has been happening for decades now, and we have reached a point where we are no longer a 3D planet. So we are a fourth density planet. So let's say those souls that haven't completed yet their third dimensional cycles, they have to be incarnated on other planets that are 3D. So they can no longer come to Earth because we are no longer a 3D planet. And that is great news, I think. So in terms of our physicality in the third dimension, the emphasis is put on the material. We need this physical vessel, we need these bodies in order to operate in this dimension. In the fourth density, this is changing because in terms of our physicality, we are 75% physical and we are 25% spirit essence. And that 25% means quicker brain operation, heightened psychic abilities. So the idea of mediumship will not be so out of order as it is still right now. We will be able to communicate directly with our higher selves, with the cosmos, with our spirit guides. So we will be able to contact them directly without using a person that has these psychic abilities. So there are many upgrades and changes happening in the nervous system right now in this ascension process. Hence why we have these weird physical sensations like fatigue, loads of headaches, and these changes will result in our bodies requiring less sleep than they are requiring in the third density. So in order to feel rested, maybe instead of 7 or 8 hours sleep, we will only need 2, 3, or 4 hours sleep a night. Also, one of the major changes of the nervous system, which I have noticed on my own body as well, is that the third dimensional body carries more pain receptors. That is the reason why our third dimensional nervous system is very sensitive to pain. So I have noticed that some time ago, I would be so much easier to put off track when something unpleasant happened to me. And those low vibrational emotions were much more dominant than the high vibrational emotions. And this is the third dimensional nervous system. This is how it responds to stress. When now, due to working, of course, a lot on myself, but then also the collective four-dimensional energies contributing to my ascension, I have become much more tolerant to low vibrational frequencies and energies and pain in general. Meaning that if I come across an experience that I would have called unpleasant in the past, no longer puts me off track now. And another thing which I have noticed is not only that you become less sensitive to pain, but you also become more sensitive to beauty and to pleasure as well. So things that you used to not pay attention to or not notice, the beauty of everyday life, you will finally start noticing. And that is a great sign of a fourth-dimensional consciousness. These changes on a mental level and emotional level will also result in changes on a physical level. There will be a change in our muscle structures where we will be able to carry more weight, to have stronger muscles, to run maybe faster as well. And in terms of physicality in the fifth dimension, only 50% physicality constitutes to reality. And the other 50% constitutes in spirit, so hence why this is the most populated, so to speak, and most popular density as well, because it offers some challenges for the souls due to some polarization, but those challenges are not too easy, but not too difficult either. So it's like, imagine living in a country where the climate conditions are just right for you, physically and spiritually as well. It is very hard to predict exactly when this will happen on a linear timeline, because nothing is really set in stone. And this is one of the specifics of the fourth and fifth dimension as well, that time is not set in stone, so it's quite flexible. Apparently the events of 2020 were supposed to happen a little bit earlier in 2017. On a multi-dimensional level, time is non-existent, so everything happens at once, everything occurs at once. But what I can tell, and what is very clear for everyone, is that the ascension process and the transition is happening right now. It's occurring, and it's happening gradually. And the higher we move on this dimensional ladder, the more we will be able to adjust time based on our will, our free will. And this also means that the manifestation of our thoughts, individually and collectively as well, will happen sooner than in the third dimension. And one of the best examples for that is the Mandela Effect, which millions of people are experiencing on the planet. I have a video on the Mandela Effect, so if you want to learn more about the phenomena, then check it out. Due to our psychic abilities being heightened, it is more likely to form a new way of communication with each other, which can be telepathic communication. And not only in terms of communicating with each other, but then also being able to tune into the energetic field of Gaia, of Mother Earth. So the possibility of deaths due to natural disasters will be much lower, because we will be able to get information about any natural disaster before it would occur. It's really exciting to be alive at this time and to experience this shift. And I think that we have only experienced a very small part of this ascension. The best is yet to come. I'm super intrigued with that, and I said in one of my videos that this is an exquisite time to be alive. And on a soul level, we have picked specifically this time to be here to experience this shift and to also assist with the ascension process. And of course, even though we are no longer a third density planet, that doesn't mean that every single individual and being will choose this fourth or fifth dimensional perspective. Some of them will choose to still stay in the third dimensional limited perception. And that's mostly because they still want to maintain their powers. They want to stay in the third dimensional power structures. Imagine being in that power structure and being so tied to your status, and everyone around you is starting to wake up, and there's an ascension going on in the world, and there's nothing that you can do in order to prevent people from awakening. It's upsetting for those beings. The awakening of people and the ascension means the loss of power for you. There's no more status for you, there's no more fear, there's no more manipulation, and you will try everything possible to suppress this awakening and to prevent people from ascending to a higher level of consciousness. And the best tool you can use in order to prevent that is fear and promoting violence, so you can turn people against each other. However, this awakening and transitioning is in the making, and it has been happening for a while, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. So thank you everybody for watching. I really hope that this information was useful and helpful. If what you have heard has resonated, then feel free to subscribe to my channel and then hit the notification bell so you get notified every single time that I upload a new video. Take care of yourselves, have a good day, have a good week, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video.